Hey guys, in this video, let's talk about tips for Willow's Euphoria. So, the tips that I recommend is more towards the general gameplay for Willow, and the rotation is more for is basically with Tuesday. Okay, so is the rotation without Ramona. If you want the full rotation for Ramona, Willow, and Tuesday, then refer to Tuesday's tips for Tuesday's Euphoria. So first of all, the core teammate for Willow is Tuesday. So you got to bring Tuesday and use Willow together with Tuesday for it to be more effective. Tips 2. The whole gameplay for Willow is actually to inflict Hexbane and then to trigger Hexbane, but Hexbane has a maximum stack of 10. So for the starting round when the enemy doesn't have Hexbane, you got to use S1 in order to quickly increase. So per use of S1 at rank 1 will give you 3 Hexbane. So if you do it right, 3 S1 should give you 9 Hexbane, that's very close to 10. And if you enter Willow's ultimate, you should be able to hit 10 because Willow's ultimate, while you're channeling, you can also inflict Hexbane based on the number of round the channel has elapsed. And apart from that, we really want Hexbane to be higher stack as fast as possible. One more reason is because when you are in channeling status, you will keep consuming Moxie. And based on this stack of Hexbane on the enemy, you will receive Moxie as well. 2 Hexbane equals to 1 Moxie, so maximum 10 stacks, so you can get up to 5 Moxie per round. And once you hit higher number of Hexbane stacks, okay, so tips 3, at least 7 and above, you should start using Willow's S2 in order to trigger as much Hexbane as possible. Don't do it when you have really low Hexbane because you won't be doing much damage anyway. Yeah, so 7 and above, then you got to start using S2 until Tuesday's array ends. Okay, for tips 4, if you are using first melody, once Hexbane stack is like 7 or above, and you have sufficient Virgin Moxie, like sometimes you may need to use it to reset, but if you have more than enough, then you can use Virgin Moxie to rank up Willow's S2 so you can resolve more Hexbane. Okay, so rank 1 or 2 or 3 S2 will resolve Hexbane by 2 or 3 or 4 times. Okay, so yeah, higher rank, more damage. For tips 5, now that she can get Moxie while she's channeling, so you want to try to prolong her channel as much as you can. That's because based on the number of round it has elapsed, then the Hexbane will be considered that it is resolved more. So this one I've explained it in Ramona's infographic, so you can go there and read up about Hexbane and its compounding effect. So yeah, if you really want to push the damage, you want to bring Willow channel as long as you can. And to do that, you got to really monitor Willow's Moxie because based on the number of round elapsed, Willow need to have at least a certain number of Moxie or else the channel will end. So at first round, when you just cast the ultimate, the as usual, if you use the ultimate, you will consume 5 Moxie, but you don't need to, you won't consume any more Moxie to maintain the channel. But in the next round, you will use up to 4 Moxie, and then 6, 8, and 10. Because Willow has only 10 Moxie when she's channeling, so by round 5 of the channel, it will need 12 Moxie to sustain, and it's impossible because Willow don't even have that number of Moxie. The overflow Moxie doesn't work. Okay, if you have like 10 plus maybe 5 more due to overflow, it will not be taken into account in order to maintain the channel longer. So it will still end at the 5th round while you're already channeling. And also because of that, like you really want to keep track of the Moxie, sometimes you really need more Moxies in order for you to maintain the channel. And if Hexbane stack is already at 10, you don't want to use S1 just to get Moxie because you will consume poison, which is more important if you use this poison like for Willow's S2, because to use Willow S2, you need a certain number of poison stack on the enemy, because like rank 1 it will consume 2 poison stack and resolve Hexbane twice. Rank 3 is 4 poison stack to resolve Hexbane 4 times. So you rather want to use those poison for Willow's S2 or for Ramona's ultimate. So if you use Willow S1, you are consuming that number of poison stack, but you are not inflicting any more Hexbane or converting any more poison to Hexbane, then it will be a waste. So, right, if you really need Moxie, then you just move the incantation. Okay, use S2 or move the incantation once Hexbane is at 10 and you really need those Moxie to maintain the channel. Tips number 7, even with Moxie overflow, you would want to use Willow's ultimate first, then only any of her incantation or moving her cards, right? Because when you are doing those and she's channeling, you get 1 additional Moxie. So this will allow her to quickly gain more Moxie and again to sustain the channel. Okay, for tips 8 is the rotation with Tuesday. So I repeat again, for Ramona and Willow, then you refer to Tuesday's infographic or Tuesday's video. Okay, tips for Tuesday Euphoria. Okay, for this rotation, we are using Offbeat Stride because we do need it to quickly get Willow's ultimate. So here, first round, you use Tuesday's S2. Then you use 2 of Willow's incantations. Here I written in round 1, Willow should move an incantation. That is only if you are not using offbeat strides, because offbeat stride you start with 1 Moxie. So if you start with 1 Moxie, then you use Willow's S1 and S2, there will be 2 Moxie. So now you have 3. And if you are not channeling, you get 2 Moxie at the end of the round. So that will be 5. If without that 1 Moxie from offbeat strides, then you will need to move it for the 5th Moxie, or else you will not be able to ultimate in round 2. So after that, you just have to monitor Willow's Moxie. Like I say, you want to ensure that you want to keep the channel as long as possible. So make sure she have like in round 2, after using the ultimate, you don't really need to bother too much about the Moxie. Then in round 3, you need at least 4. In round 4, you need 6. Round 5, you need 8. Round 6, you need 10. And round 7, her channel will end in this round. If you do it right, you will have quite a lot of AP. So your sustain will be able to out more or heal more or shield more because of this free AP. One more thing that you want to consider, which I have also explained in Tuesday's Euphoria, is that if you are able to get a rank 3 Tuesday's S2 and you use it, and after that you keep a 3-round rotation for Tuesday, that rank 3 debuff, the stats, right, from the rank 3, it will be until the end of the battle. Okay? Yep. So for overall this rotation, after using Tuesday's S2 in round 1, in round 2 to round 4, if there's another Tuesday S2 that comes into the spell dock, then using Unfinished Tune, generate precast and merge the S2. So now you got rank 2. Then after that, you just got to wait for another S2 to come. Then you merge it. So when merging it will give you more Moxie. So definitely Tuesday will be able to do a 3-round rotation. And since you're using unfinished tune, then you got to be a little bit careful because after Tuesday array ends, all hexbane will be consumed. So you got to be careful here as you need maybe 1 or 2 copies of Willow's S1 in order to again bring hexbane to 10 stacks. So if you don't have enough, then you got to generate Willow's S1 in order to convert more poison into hexbane. However, if hexbane already reached 10 stacks, then you want to also, if you have enough Verdant Moxie, to generate Willow's precast and use more Willow's S2 to resolve hexbane even more times to do more damage. As for tips 9, this is Willow with other units. So here is with Lawrence. They actually work quite well together. So, but for this gameplay, you want to merge and keep a rank 3 S2. Okay, Willow's rank 3 S2, and then you use Lawrence and copy that. Okay, so use Lawrence ultimate during the second round of Tuesday's array. So during the final round of Tuesday array, this is when you keep casting Willow's rank 3 S2. And 3 copies of that means that Willow will resolve hexbane up to 12 times. And you really got to make sure you have enough poison to trigger hexbane 12 times, and that means at least 12 poison stacks. And finally, for tip stand for Ramona, refer to Tuesday Euphoria infographic for the rotation. Alright, so that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching and have a good day.